Boo. How are you? Greetings, my beloved Japanites, and welcome to another glorious episode of Painting. Pardon me. I should probably really stop smoking. But not yet. It is still one of those things that I do admittedly rely on. Like some kind of emotional and nervous crutch. I'm one of those dudes that still, to this day, despite all the shit I talk on stream about being positive and stuff like that, I still get days where I'm furiously frustrated and pissed off and tired. I desperately need my coffee and fag to make myself feel better. But, regardless, I am here to entertain you for at least the next 2 hours. So, let's get this goo on the road. Tuikaru! D-U! Demolish you! To like, demolish you is like actually a hilarious name. Brother Demon Hunter Beru, welcome to Painting. Shall we return to what we were doing yesterday? For the next week, for those of you who didn't tune in yesterday in the first episode of I've dubbed this portion of the next few episodes. I've like actually the female told me that would probably be a good idea is to start naming the episodes and stuff. Like, so I'm gonna try to start doing that instead of just like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number goo. So I've decided to call this the following week of special edition episodes, while we do this beautiful commission for our very own Demorishu for her birthday, which falls on Friday of next week, the 3rd of May. It is titled a fiercely funny female. A fiercely funny female. Which she is. Demorishu has an excellent sense of humor. Which is always a very a strong quality in a female, is to have an excellent sense of humor. Sip sip. My coffee's actually hot and like nice and warm today. Forgive me if my energy is a bit off on this painting goo. I woke up this morning after training like properly for the first time in weeks yesterday. Forgive me. I woke up this morning at 8 a.m. and I was fucking sore as fuck. Oh my god, like my arms, my abs, my ass, my fucking thighs, like the whole lot, like, you know, which makes sense because I did a full body workout. But oh my god, I forgot what it feels like. And yeah, I know, it always feels worse when your body is like started to atrophy for a while and you've lost like a stone and you haven't done a proper week out in weeks. And then you go and do one. And then wake up the next day and your body's just like, what the fuck were you thinking? I'm thinking I want to be jacked. That's what I'm thinking. Well, actually, I'm thinking I want to be thick. I'm sick of being jacked. I've been ripped like fucking some kind of cheap version of Brad Pitt out of Snatch for fucking years now. And the one thing I have not managed to do is to actually like swell up a bit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've had a 6-pack for like nigh on a decade now, probably more, and I don't care. I'd rather be a fat cunt. I'd rather look like Stuntman Bear in a fucking, like a fucking, what are those things called? Begins with P. Big thick jackets. I can't remember what they're called. Begins with P. I'd rather look like the fucking Michelin Man right now, like, to be quite honest. I'm sick of being cold. That's one of the main reasons. Surly. Is it sure you You're referring to me or Surrey Delta Bear? Stabro, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Yes. So, I am extremely tired this day. I have much to do. Oh, I have much to do, and I have done much already. I got up early despite being sore as fuck. So, without further ado, we shall begin today's goo. But first, as per usual, I must descend to proper PEINTEINGU posture. It's not really PEINTEINGU unless you can see the top knot. Right. Shall we? Excellent. So, as I said yesterday, I am going to make sure that the background is complete, in focus, and detailed. Before I move on to the glorious female herself and the zombie doctor that she is about to decapitate with all her fury. Right. Okay. Is everything in place? Is it all here? Is it all well? I have my squirty thing. Garos is staring at me through his sunglasses and aluminium bucket. I always begin by placing my royal rag upon my demi-divine knee. Allow the music to permeate your spine, for it is time for PEINTEINGU. Dick Fordu, welcome to PEINTEINGU. How are you this fine Freya's day? Freitag. Freya's day. Freya's tag. Oh, shit. Oh. Ooh. My titties are very sore. Oh, fuck. And dips and pull-ups. If you want upper body strength, that's all you fucking need. Dips and pull-ups. And overhead presses. You don't need a weight though, you can do that with, like, handstands if you're good enough, like, you know. Which I do on occasion. Good, like, decline press. But enough about me! The next week or so is about this goo for the female tomorrow show. So, shall we? PEINTEINGU! PEINTEINGU. PEINTEINGU. It's PEINTEINGU! Painting you! Painting me! It's PEINTEINGU! Let's fucking go! My eyes! Painting you! Painting me! It's PEINTEINGU! Let's fucking go! In my attempt to remain as Asian as possible. I think I've squinted too much. Oh god. Getting up this morning was rough. For I am a dog. Get it? Rough. Max Nodbo! Welcome to PEINTEINGU. Painting looking cool. You have seen nothing yet, brother. But thank you. You trying to say the rest of them aren't cool? The recent PEINTEINGU we completed in Zimbabwe turned out really well. I put it up on Instagram today. And I found the perfect tune to complement it, if I do say so myself. Had me in quite the giggle. Right. I must have squirt on the fucking parrot. Where's my squirty thing? Right, I have my squirty thing. And now I squirt on this frat parrot. To arouse the goo to fro. We have a buildings to paint. Beaumont Hospital must be rendered in all its horrific glory. Sip sip. Sister Corbaru, welcome to Paintingu. Paintingu, goo goo. Oh, yes. Oh, I almost forgot. Come, Tobias. Oh, easy now. Easy. Do not affer, my brother. My feathery brother. I think he's okay. A ding of the dong to Krenza Chi. Arouse the vibrations of the tiny dong and the music to permeate your spina, for it is timer for the paintingu. Where are my bitches? Let's get them wet. These are my bitches. I'm about to get them sopping wet. For I have much to do. The building on the right must be more white. Like Europe. Just every time I say something needs more white, I'm just like Europe! Fucking Ireland needs more white. Pardon my inability to watch chatter. Greetings to our here, of course. You are pardoned. This time. Right. There we go. The rare of brew was still wettu towards the end of yesterday's paintingu. Now that it is dryer, we can continue to render this background before moving on to the female herself, wielding a fierce looking sword. D, what color's your hair? Is it black or brown? The last thing we want is your hair to blend in with with Beaumont Hospital. Do you want this to be like, you know, fairly accurate, or do you want me to just like action bitch comic character the fuck out of you? And only us here, only the Paintingu posse will know that it is you. The glorious light of heaven returns to us today on Paintingu. Yesterday was grey as fuck. Today, 'tis beautiful. I went for my walkoo. Despite being really fucking like seriously, like my whole body aches. Which is good. Because it means I did a good workout, you know? But it doesn't change the fact that like literally everything that I do today is now like more difficult and takes more energy. As my body is recovering from me tearing it apart. Brother Demon Hunter Baru will know all about that. An avid gym goer and rifter of weights. I will eventually secure for myself a decent barbell and weights. I have a cheap shitty one there at the moment that I've actually deconstructed into a mace, which I actually get more use out of that. Just swinging that around. If you've never just like swung something like a mace for a long period of time, you're missing out. It's great for your shoulders. But I will eventually get my hands on a proper barbell and weights. Painting-gu! Painting you is painting me. It's painting-gu. Painting you. Painting me. It's painting-gu. Rest fucking goo. Painting-gu. Painting you. Painting me. Is painting-gu. Painting-gu. Painting you. Is painting me. Is painting-gu. I'm on a horse. Painting-gu. If you have not gathered your chi by now, you're probably a gay. Dip, dip, you dip, we sip. So many sayings on Painting-gu. We have plenty of material for future t-shirts. A lot of squirting on this one. I want the goo to be nice and flowy and slightly thin, which is not usually my preference. If you've been watching Painting-gu since its inception, you know my love of things that are opaque. I detest transparency when it comes to goo. Everything else, transparency is very good. Not everything else. Transparent clothing, for example, is a not so goo. I said I would tape this down to prevent warpage. I am a lying fuck. Forgive me. I forgot. One of the many curses of becoming half-mortar. I now have a memory that occasionally slips me. Goo. You know what that means? It's time to crap for Painting-gu. All of you, now, do it now, crap for Painting-gu. Those of you who have found not crapping for Painting-gu, I will take notes, and you will regret it. Not crapping for Painting-gu is a surefire way to lose much honor. You master crap for painting. Yes. Yes. Crap. Crap, you filthy mortars. Crap for the goo. Or I will smite you. I may not be a furry-fledged god any longer. However, I am threatening my audience with smitement. Interrupt me. The absolute nerve of these people. For those of you who have not crapped for the goo, I will show you how I will smite you. Come, girls, remind these filthy mortals what they must do. Resident 850-pound tiger, formerly addicted to cocaine, from Siberia, Garros. Our brother Garros reminds you all to like and subscribe to PEINTEINGU. Rest I remove his sunglasses and aluminium bucket and fling him upon you. He will claw you to death. You will regret it. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Go, go. Paint, paint. Painting go, go. Painting go, go. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Painting go, 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 go. Painting go, 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 go. Right. Where's my beautiful dark grey? Come to me, you gooey bitch. Yeah. 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 Hey, we talking poop burgers again? Don't you dare bring that up! Do not remind the Japanites of that horrific encounter with the shit burgers. I seen another thing. I seen like yet another thing about China and like how fucking mental it's getting and all lately. And it was like they have these lads online. Like I know that this has been going on a while because I've seen videos before where they're like breaking this stuff down. Paint. But it's like apparently it's becoming like very prevalent. You have these lads who are like getting really good at makeup and pretending to be fucking like little Asian, like cute little Asian girls online and all, like. paint, paint. And like, yeah, it's like fucked up and shit, but like, I can't help but laugh at it. I seriously can't help but laugh at it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you imagine? It's like I was saying yesterday. Like, you know, fucking, like, imagine the type of person you'd have to be to work in one of those factories that's like making like fake meat and shit. Like, do you imagine the kind of fucking loser you'd have to be to like get really good at makeup and fucking like, that's gayer than like the Tate stuff. That's gayer than like the Andrew Tate shit. Like, you're getting like really good at makeup and stuff so that you can trick other lads online into thinking that you're a female. Like, there is something hilarious about it though. Like, I cannot deny the hilarious factor in that. Like, you know, when you see the fucking face on some of the lads when they're like, like, you know, instead of being like, "Hi, how are you?" Like, trying to talk like a female and all of a sudden he's like, "It talks like this," you know, like, and you just see the guy on the other screen just like, "Oh god." Oh, shit's hilarious. Ding. Painting. Google. There's some utterly insane stuff going on out there right now. I find myself laughing at it more and more though, you know, whereas like before stuff like that would either horrify me or annoy me, because I'd be like, oh my god, the world's getting so fucked up and all. Like a lot of this shit now I just look at and I just start pissing myself laughing. Like, paintingu goo goo. Kya? Hiya! Hiya! Jackie! I wanna go back and watch all that now. Jackie Chan cartoon. All the bad guys in that were class, especially in the first season. They had this big like sumo guy called Toru. He's a fucking brilliant character. Dude was huge. Like, and I'm not just talking about fat. Like he was fucking like. I think he was easily like 9 feet tall or something. Like, he was like absolutely massive. Like, but you can't beat Hawk Fu. Hawk Fu was like the funniest fucking thing ever. Be surprised if Defender ass went extra dead, extra quick today. Oh, glorious Gapu. I'm like fucking Rick from Rick and Morty. that just popped into my head there. It's like I'm always I'm literally always burping on stream. I don't know if it's a nerve thing or if it's just my diet or some shit. I don't know. Like, I have a feeling it's like a combination of the fact that I usually eat or drink around the time before the stream or during the stream, and then I do so much talking that like I just build up a lot of gas or some shit, or like trapped air. Like, I have no idea. No doubt someone on the internet is going to tell me I have cancer or something, like, you know. Funny, isn't it, how, like, you know, loads of things, like, everything, like, in the last 10 years, there's like, don't do this, gives you cancer. Don't eat this, gives you cancer. Don't drink that, gives you cancer. They've shown that, it was like when COVID was going on, and they were like, you know, they were, like, telling you that, like, fucking walking outside, or, like, just being a man, like, you know, gave you an increased chance of having, like, myocarditis or fucking heart problems or some shit, like. The one thing they couldn't say, out of all the shit that they were peddling, the one thing they couldn't say is, like, yeah, the vaccines we're telling you all to take are, like, really fucking people up. So they just literally took every single known fucking, like, even not even known, potentially even mildly destructive ailment or some shit or habit or whatever, like, you know, like, oh yeah, heart attack. Oh yeah, 15-year-olds having heart attacks in schools, totally normal, happens all the time, you know. That's why we're putting defibrillators in schools now. It's always been like this. Didn't you know that fucking 15-year-old, you know, athletic, totally healthy fucking children, like, got heart attacks? Like, you know, this has been happening for years. Like, you fucking assholes. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. I need a red brick color. So let's try and get some burnt sienna on this bitch. Paint, paint. Anhaleo! Welcome to Paintingu. Yeah, the uncle of Jackie Chan. Uncle! He was fucking brilliant. Oh, he's like, when you have like a really good character, they have like a saying or like a some kind of verbal tick or something, like, and his was "Ayya, Jackie." It was always "Ayya." Every time something went wrong, every time he found something interesting, like, and you do it in different inflections, like you pick something up and go, "Ayya." I think it was one of the episodes where was it the dog? The first season was all about collecting these talismans that granted magical powers. The pig talisman was the one that Huck Fu got a hold of, and it gave him heat beam eye blast powers. But there's I think Huck Fu was in the episode where Uncle gets a hold of the dog talisman, and it makes him immortal. So he's all young again, and like he's like an incredible martial artist, like, because he used to be. So like he feels like he's 30 years old again, but he still looks like 80, and he's like kicking the shit out of people the whole episode. It's awesome. Like, I love stuff like that. Like, it was a genuinely really good cartoon for like loads of different reasons. Like, you know, that was awesome. Okay. Right. Stabberoo, prepare yourself. I'm making the browner. Some red. Some squirt. Go, 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 go. Some of the goo is so thick now. I love it. Toru was awesome. Yeah, Toru was class, and like Toru becomes a good guy and all. Like, I thought that was really cool. That's another really good way to like show character development, is like if they eventually switch sides for some reason. And as far as I remember, Toru actually becomes a good guy, and I think that was one of the reasons they brought Hakufu in, because they needed a bad guy to be with, you know, the rest of the bad guys, like to replace Toru. So they brought Hakufu in. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh my god, I missed that cartoon. They even put that thing, if you're a fan of Jackie Chan movies, he has this really cool thing that he does in a lot of his movies, where when he parries and blocks an opponent multiple times in a row, he'll shake his arms out. Because, like, and like, just as someone who's a fan of martial arts and action movies and stuff like that, like, that is a very realistic detail. People don't realize how much fighting hurts. Like, even if you don't get hit clean and, like, you know, they don't fuck you up or break a rib or anything, like, if you don't receive, like, you know, a truly damaging strike, it's still gonna hurt like a bitch. Like, you know, it fucking hurts. Blocking hurts, you know, like even catching strikes instead of just straight up blocking them, like, it fucking hurts, like, especially depending on the strike. Paint. One of the best examples of this is Muay Thai, and how they like literally train themselves to desensitize their shins, because a lot of the strikes you'll throw, like, you know, just your basic shin kick or low kick or checking kicks, you know, like checking kicks, in other words, blocking kicks, fucking hurts like a bitch. Like, your shins will have like lumps all over them for like years, like, never mind weeks or months. Like, do you know what I mean? It takes your body years to adapt to that kind of punishment. Like, and even when it does eventually adapt to that kind of punishment, you could look at a guy who like Thailand's golden boy Buakaw. There's this very, very famous viral video of Buakaw kicking a banana tree, a live one. So it's not like dead and dry, it's a live banana tree. And like, I think it's a banana tree, I'm not sure. But he kicks it, bare-legged, like something out of fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer. Like, kick the tree. But I'm gonna break my leg. You remember your brother? Kick the tree. That's a great scene. But like, you can see it in his face, and you can hear it in him. He's like, yeah! Yeah! And like, he's just like tensing up and like fighting through the pain, because it fucking hurts. It doesn't matter like how long you've been doing martial arts or whatever, like. And I just thought that was always really cool, the way Jackie Chan was like one of the few people that like threw that in. Because it's like, it's only in Jackie movies, really. You know, like, you don't see any other action movie or martial arts movie where they'd be like fighting and like they actually like show that's like, you know, that they're not superhuman. Like, do you know what I mean? That's like, oh my god, like, fuck, that really hurt. Like, you know, like every so often you'll see somebody punch something and they'll be like, oh, my hand or whatever, like, you know. But like, he always did it in that very like just really applicable, realistic way, where he wouldn't even, it's not that he would hit someone, he would be trading with someone and blocking all these strikes, and then like, you know, hit them with something or get away from them or counter, and then there would be like a 2 second to 3 second moment where he's just like, oh fuck. Like, and it's, I always just thought that was a brilliant addition, like, and they put that in the cartoon, and he does it quite often, you know, like when he'd be fighting something and he gets a second to recuperate, he's like, ha, 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 and he like shakes his arms out and all, like, it's brilliant. Like, 'tis the details that matter, those little details. I keep, like, you know, from a distance, the lines look quite straight on the buildings, and that looks really white. Holy fuck. I suppose I do have a light on it right now, but like, you know, I'm looking at it up close, and then I look at the screen, and I'm like, it looks so much better in small form. Paint. It's called resolution, Defenderu. Paint. That's another thing I noticed about fucking art in general and painting. Like, the more I did it myself, the more I realized that I was like, oh, These guys make like huge paintings on canvases because it's way easier to like make something look badass. Because like if you're standing 15 feet away from it, it looks fucking unreal. But then when you get close to it, it's actually quite messy. And it doesn't mean it's bad, but it's messy, you know? It's like a little trick of the trade there, where like if you don't possess the which I'm not saying I don't, I do possess the manual dexterity and the focus to do something like really accurate. That's one of the reasons I like doing the symmetricals, getting them really sharp, so even up close they look like they're fucking printed by a machine, and that machine is me. But it's a very handy thing to know that you could, like, especially with stuff like this, it almost makes it, not that it does, it makes it like straight up like way easier to do stuff like organic stuff or cloth flowing or whatever, like all these different textures and little tricks of light and stuff like that. And you can just go like scribble scribble, and up close it's like, well, what the fuck is that? But when you move away from it, you're like, oh, that's awesome looking. Paint. Squirt, squirt. Paint. Yeah, I need to darken this up a bit. This bitch needs some brack in her. One more thing. Yeah, one more thing. I forgot about that. I fucking, like, dude, seriously, like, it's like we're the same guy. Like every show I mentioned, every metal thing. Well, I suppose you didn't know about Silosis. That's like the first thing I've come across so far. Like, I fucking love that shit. Like, hiya, Jackie, Uncle, they have stolen the dog talisman. I know. You must fucking. Well, he never cursed, but like, you must seek them out at the temple. And then they're like, okay, and then they go to leave. And he's like, one more thing! And then like, what? And he's like, take one of these with you, it will help. And then they go to leave again. One more thing! That's fucking brilliant. Oh, there was always like, he'd always go like, one more thing! And then he'd turn around and come back in, and he'd be like, I need more noodles for my soup later. Pick up on shop on way from home. I fucking like, I seriously want to watch all that now. Like, really good cartoon. Samurai Jack, the Jackie Chan cartoon. Fuck it. I think I said this, but I can't remember. But I was recently reminded of a show called Mummies Alive. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this. Like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, no, yeah, I definitely spoke about this before. But yeah, Mummies Alive was like a cartoon about like 4 mummies, and I think one of them was female, one of them was a cat, one of them was a snake, one of them was an eagle, one of them was like an ox or a boar or a bull or some shit. I think it was like, I think it was a ram. He was a ram because he has those like curled horns. And I had like, that had completely left my memory bank. And like, that got me thinking that like, because when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, oh my god, I remember that cartoon. I had toys of that, like. And then my brain started to go, what else have I forgotten? You know, like, do you guys get that? Like, where you get reminded by a smell? Like, smells are usually the thing that trigger your like early life, like hardcore style. But like, I've had that a few times now in the past, like maybe 3 or 4 years, especially, where I'm like, oh my god, what else have I forgotten? And then I try to like think, and then it do, like, I do actually like end up like that Tommy Tiernan bit when he's talking about his dad. He's like, whenever I can't go to sleep, I try to remember something that I've never remembered before. It's a bewildering thing to try and do, and it fucking is. Like, it's a mad thing to try and do, to just sit there and think and go through your life chronologically. And you'll notice, like, especially in your early life, you start thinking of things, and then because you're thinking of certain things, they remind you of something else related to that thing. And then you find yourself being like, oh my god, I haven't thought about that in years. And it's not necessarily nostalgia. It's almost like like, part of me thinks that's how, like, fucking the whole samsara and reincarnation works. It's like, well, why don't I remember my previous life? It's like, because you just don't remember. But, like, if you tried to, you might, you know? Because you see all these people being like, no, I remember being in Atlantis when it flooded. Which, is, you know, is a crazy fucking thing to say. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, people are like, yeah, okay, woohoo! You know, but, like, considering all the shit that's happened and all the stuff that we know about and all now, like, and all the stuff that we don't know about, all the stuff that we know we don't know, man, like, I totally believe in that shit. I totally believe in that shit. Like, I've thought about that before. Like, part of me thinks that me and Wishy have been together multiple times over thousands of years. I'm not even playing. Like, I'm not saying that just to sound romantic or whatever, because, like, sometimes the bitch really pisses me off. Like, don't get me wrong, I love her and all, but, like, but, like, I seriously think sometimes I'm like, have we done this, like, again and again and again and again? Like, and, like, I have a feeling that I was at one point not stuck in samsara, but now I am, and that's why I get these feelings of like, oh fuck yeah, that feels like I've done that before, like what the fuck. And it's like I'm trying to, like, I have this weird feeling that I'm like a soul that used to be like really evil. I'm not even playing, like, you know, I think that's why I get this whole half demon, half angel fucking aspect of my personality, where, like, I think in a previous life I was like a fucking murdering scumbag. And not even for, like, justifiable reasons. I have this weird feeling that I was like, you know, because, like, Scorpio's like the Judas, you know? Like, when you look at all this, like, esoteric, gnostic, occult knowledge, paint. Scorpio is the assassin. Scorpio is the Judas. Scorpio is the betrayer. He represents revenge and sex and fucking, like, not necessarily evil stuff, but very intense, like, highly spiritually charged stuff, like murder and sex and, like, there's like 7 other things I can't remember. Paint. But, like, specifically, like, assassination, you know? And, like, I love knives and fucking, like, not just weapons, but specifically knives. Like, I prefer knives to swords. Like, I want to be closer, you know? And I'm a sniper. Well, obviously I'm not actually a sniper, like, in a military class, but, like, I'm always sniping in video games, and the first time I ever got my hands on real-life guns, I was, like, really comfortable with rifles. Like, single action rifles, like semi-automatic or bolt action rifle. Like, it just felt right. Like I'd done it before, you know? I think that's where talent is. I think that's what talent is. Like, I have a feeling that's what talent is. Is like you're remembering what you've done before. It's not like, you know, you were blessed with a certain ability. I think it's like, this is what you are already good at because you used to be good at it. And now you're doing this shit again, like, you know? Like, the more I think about reincarnation and samsara and, like, multiple lives and stuff like that, it makes total sense why your memory gets wiped. Like, if your memory didn't get wiped, the fucking advantage you would have would be ridiculous. So it makes total sense why your memory gets wiped, you know? Plus, it'd be super weird if, like, a fucking toddler had the mind of a fucking 250-year-old person. Like, should it be? Like, it'd be funny and interesting, but it'd be really fucked up. Iron Man Maru! Welcome! Oh, PEINTEINGU! I collected the talismans from the magazines, still have them all. Oh my god, really? Dude, take photos of that shit and send it to me. I am, like, instantly jealous. I am jealous. I'd love to have a collection like that sitting around. I think that's funny, actually. I saw this thing on YouTube earlier on, that, like, well, not YouTube, Facebook. It was like one of those stupid clickbait things where it was like, click on the heart and see what's holding you back. and it told me that like it's just one of these randomly generated fucking algorithmic fucking things, but like part of me was like, I wonder. It told me that I had lost someone or something that will never be replaced or some shit like that, like, and that's what's like holding me back in life and shit. And then I was like, I haven't lost anyone that, like, you know, I haven't gotten over, you know, in a healthy way. You know, like my grandparents died in a like really emotionally traumatizing way and stuff like that over a period of time, and that really fucked me up for a while. But like, it's not like, sometimes I don't even think about my grandparents, you know, and then I think about them and then I don't get sad anymore. I think that's like a good measure of like if you're actually over something. It's like you haven't thought about it in a while and then you think about it and like it doesn't like trigger a highly charged emotional reaction. Actually means that you have like actually grown from that trauma. Which is why I feel so bad for these military dudes who are like in their 90s and they talk about what it was like on D-Day and they start crying. It's like, dude, I'm not surprised that still fucks you up like that. But I had a weird thought earlier on, and that talisman talk is after reminding me that I don't have any material objects. Paint. Anything like, I don't have any material objects from my past. Which even when I say it out loud does actually give me a tinge of melancholy. Paint. I don't have anything. It's all gone. Like, you know, like everything I was in a material sense anyway. It's all gone. The house I grew up in, the toys I used to own, everything. Gone. And I've never sat down and thought about that because I'm not that kind of person in that sense. Like, you know, I don't wallow over things. But I do have a vengeful streak, you know. So when somebody wrongs me, I'm like, you motherfucker. But like, when it comes to loss in a material sense, I think I've underestimated how much I've lost and how much it meant to me. I don't know, it's something I'm going to ponder over the next few days or weeks. Because I think there's something to that. I have nothing from my past. In a material sense, you know? Obviously I have all my memories and fucking... Although, considering what I just spoke about, it's not like, you know, I don't have all my memories, you know? I believe I do. And then I remember something that I haven't remembered in years. And then I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, the more I think about it, I would actually, I would love to, I would, being where I am now, I would prefer that I had, like, some of my toys from my past, the models that I owned, things that I collected, and I've got none of it. It's all gone. I do get a slight tinge of sadness when I think that. So there's definitely something there. But it's not big. You know? It's not like I'm starting to get... It's not like I'm welling up right now because I'm like, oh no! But there's definitely something there. Like a seed of like a popcorn kernel stuck in your gum, or a thorn in a particularly sore place in your finger. It's not major. But it's there, and it hurts. Even if it is very small, you know? I got my fist bump turned around you. Apologies. It's just like... It's hilarious. Do you ever think that finishing words or phrases the other says is proof that you've been with that partner in a past life? That happens... Paint, countless times with my female now. No, that specific thing, I wouldn't say so, because that, you do that with somebody you just know well. Like, that's someone, like, you and me could do that, like, you know, like, we just, like, we're on the same wavelength, you know? We're thinking about the same, similar shit, and we think similarly or something like that. So that specifically, no, I don't think, it's when, I've gotten it a few times, and it's weird. Domo arigato for your patronage to Paintingu. I'll read that in a sec. The name on that's hilarious. It's more like, it's like I got one when I was with the lads like a year or two ago. We went on like not a camping thing, but we went up in this place called like what's it, the fucking the Hellfire Club. There's a place here called well, it's not here, it's in Dublin. There's a place in Dublin called the Hellfire Club, and it's like to do with all like masonry and stuff, as far as I know, and like some kind of occult shit. And there's loads of just land and hills and farmland around it and stuff. And there's like a parking lot there and all. You can go up, and it's like a touristy thing, like, you know. But me and a few of the bears from the Irish Bear Clan were up there, and we were just hanging out and shit. We're all sitting around the fire. We're like drinking and smoking and, you know, having snacks and stuff and talking, like sharing gravy. And all of a sudden I got this overwhelming sense that we'd all been there before, together, in a moment like that. So weird. And maybe I'm just confusing it with another sensation, like, do you know what I mean? It's possible that, like, I don't know, like, cause I was about to say, like, it just felt very familiar. But I'd never been there before. And I'd never been there with those people. In this lifetime, anyway, in quotes, like, you know. And that's why it was so weird, like. I was like, I genuinely think we've done this before. Like, us. Maybe not in these bodies or with these names or in this time. But, like, our souls are, like... our frequencies have been in this location at some time previous to this, or maybe even in the future, you know. Like, I agree with that shit. I don't think time is linear. I think time is fluid. I think things in the present can affect the past and the future, you know. So maybe it could be that, like, I got an overwhelming sensation that we would all be there again eventually. But I doubt it. I mean, one or two of the people that were there, one specifically, I highly doubt. You could be wrong, but I highly doubt we'll ever meet up again in a group like that. So it would make more sense that we had done it before. But, like, you know, obviously it could be wrong. But it's a fucking weird sensation. It really is. It's one of those things that, like, it's stuff like that makes me believe in things like the gods or God and, like, you know, the spiritual aspect of reality. Like, one thing that really gave me pause was I remember being in my grandmother's house on my ma's side. My mother's mother. We were in her house. She had a friend coming over, and his name was Leslie, which I thought at the time, I was like, isn't Leslie a fucking, like, woman's name or something? I don't know. I just thought it was odd. Or was it Leslie? I just remember thinking, I was like, isn't that a girl's name? But fucking how many windows is there? 1, 2, so one there, okay. He was a Reiki master. He spent years studying Reiki and holistic healing and crystals and all that jazz. And, like, maybe he was just full of shit, like, you know, but it didn't feel like it. Like, you know, I felt something, and he had the frequency of, like, honesty and truth about him, which is one of the reasons why I was like, whoa, what the fuck. I would have been in between. I would have been like 14, 15 at the time, I think. And I was very, very, very angry. You know, like, I still have a lot of anger in me now, but it's different, you know. It's aged like wine. Back then it was fresh. Back then, like, you know, like, my parents had only recently divorced, and I was going through a lot of spiritual and emotional turbulence at that time. And this old dude walks in. We were in the sitting room, This dude walks in, and one of the first things he said to me is he was like, "You're in a lot of pain." And I was like, "What?" And he was standing like 15 feet away from me in the doorway, and he took 2 steps back, I think, and he did this with his hand, as if he was like touching something, and he said, "I can feel your negative aura from over here." Like, and I was like, well, what's that supposed to mean? He was like, "You are like giving off like such an intense, like powerful, like negative aura, like you're like a black hole right now, like, do you know what I mean? Like you're like fucking." Well, he said, I think what he actually said was like, it was like I was projecting, "Get the fuck away from me," you know? And I suppose a black hole is like pulls everything in. I was giving off this like incredibly strong aura, like a bad smell spiritually, of like, "I don't want to be here, get the fuck away from me." And it made a lot of sense. Like when he said it and all, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. You know, like. And he asked me, he was like, would you like for me to try and take that away from you? And I was like, well, how are you gonna do that and all? Like, and he was like, there's ways, like, you know, like I can help. And I was like, okay. I remember my grandmother turning around to me being like, I never called her my grandmother. I always called her by a name because I didn't get along with her. So, Elsie. I remember Elsie turned around to me and was like, "Trust me, like he knows what he's doing. Like you know, just give it a shot." Like, and we went into the other room and he got me to just like, you know, sit down in front of him, and with my hands placed on my knees with my palms facing upwards. And he takes out this crystal thing and starts doing some crystal work on me, like, and you know, like swirling it around and then getting it to stop and all. Like, you know, initially I was like, this is a load of bollocks, but I have to be honest, I like after he like during it I didn't feel much, but after he was done I felt so much lighter. I did actually feel as if something had just like been removed from me, like, you know, like cleaning a window, you know, you could see through it now. And I was like, whoa, like what the fuck was that? Like, you know, I was like, I genuinely remember being like, that's fucking weird, man. And he was real cool about it. He was like, you know, there is a sense to it where it's like you need, like, it could just be a placebo. Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought about it later, because like he said to me, he was like, if you don't want it to work, it's not gonna work. And that's what I could feel in you as well. It's like you're giving off all this negative energy because you want to be left alone because you've been hurt so much. But you're not a bad person. You want to be good and you want to be happy and you want to heal. But you don't think that you can, and you don't know how. And like I was kind of getting upset because like everything he said, I was like, how the fuck do you know me? You know, like what is this? Like, but it's just like now I see that stuff as like a lot of that stuff makes sense to me now. It's like I've said it a lot. Like when you look, if you know your shit, you take one look at me, and the like physiognomy of my face tells you how much pain I'm in and how angry I am. You know, even though I don't like, that's not what I project. You know, I project like a fucking silly motherfucker. Like, you know, like. But that is the inner, the shadow, the inner like truth is that like there's still a part of me that's like a traumatized child, you know. But being aware of that has like allowed me to like change and grow and like heal and all these things, like, and that's the major difference, is like becoming aware of it. And then being like, you know, I don't mean to sound like a big woo faggot and all, like, but you do. It takes courage to be like, okay, well, what do I do about this and all, like, and then have to like, you have to admit things about yourself and all. Like, it's not nice to admit that, like, there are times where, like, you made bad choices and you've been an asshole and stuff. I've stolen things. I've fucked people over. I've betrayed people. And I always, like, rationalized it as, like, you know, well, they all do it, you know? You people all fucked with me. You people hurt me. Why wouldn't I hurt you? You know, like... And it's weird, because it's like, doesn't that kind of make sense with my personality type? Because, like, I genuinely don't think I'm better than anyone. So, that makes sense. I look at everybody else and I'm like, okay, well, you guys are all pieces of shit. So I'm gonna be a piece of shit too. But that's not a good thing. So then I choose to be better. And then ironically everyone starts calling you like arrogant and fucking like, oh, you think you're better than me? Like, it's like, no, I don't think I'm better than you. I choose to be better than you. But it's not like a personal thing. You know, like... It's fucking, like, it's fascinating, but it's, like, fucking crazy at the same time, like... Hate! Windows! In the Bible, Desmondo, God tells us that when men and women marry, they literally become one. ESPN is part of the package in my experience. You mean ESP? Isn't ESPN the sports channel? Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, like, that's kind of funny, and I mean, like, me and Wishy have been paint. We've been engaged for like a year now. Paint. But we're not married, so like, I don't know. Are you guys aren't married, are you, Demon Hunter? Ugh. I think by marry, the Lord's word translated these days would be bang. That's probably very true, yeah. Now that I believe. That I totally believe. When people like when a man and a woman have sex, there's like a spiritual melding of consciousness. But it has to be love. It has to be like, you know, you want her and she wants you. That's why rape is so fucked up. Because like it's like a plug and a socket. You know, you put a plug in a socket and there's a power transfer. And like if the plug has like way too much voltage in it, it's gonna like fry everything. You know, so you could describe that as like a man, you know, forcing himself on a woman, you know. Whereas if there's like a balance and a blending of like, alright, well, I'm this kind of socket and you're this kind of plug, and then they fit together and then there's a flow of energy, you know. Like if you just fucking show up with like, you know, like your average plug and you're trying to like ram it into a fucking, you know, like the difference between European and American voltages and like the different prongs and stuff, like, you know, it's the intent, you know. Like, the intent matters, like. I think that's why rape is so fucked up, because, like, love and, like, union and, like, the not just biological or electrical, but the spiritual, like, connection that happens in those moments, like, the sharing of mind and body and soul and all. Paint! Is such, like, it's creation. It's the catalyst to creation. Is sex. That's why you have all these occult fuckers who like see the cosmos as a giant like sex act, you know? Where they're like, oh, it's all fucking space jizz. In a sense, they're right, you know? It's just like a perverted sense. They're not seeing it for what it actually is, in my humble opinion. They're seeing it for what they want it to be, you know? They're being like, okay, so everything is just fucking. It's like, no, bro. Like, there's a reason why you can look at things in like that's metaphor, like, you know, allegory, like, you know, shit like that. Like, this is like this doesn't mean it is this. Oh, burp. Gabu, fuck. But that's a, like perversion of the natural mechanics of life. There are rules to this place, you know? And when you pervert those rules for selfish or malevolent reasons, because you can be selfish and you're not being malevolent, you know? But like quite often selfishness and malevolence like coincide. And when you pervert the natural cycles, the natural mechanics of the realm, oh, you're fucking with powers like way beyond your comprehension. And if they are not beyond your comprehension and you know exactly what you're doing and you do it anyway, ooh, like, I think that's when I think that's when the gods are like, you cheeky little fuck, you know, like, flood the place. Like, gonna go with a light grey for the floor here. Painting. Painting. Google. Think the been here before feeling is a sync to tell us we are meant to be where we presently are. Yeah, totally vibe with that. It may not be that you were actually there before, but the reason you're getting that feeling is because, you know, the way Chris Gardner says frequency is location, and like all that, you know, Tesla like vibrations and stuff like that. Like, you could be totally right, man. That like that feeling I got, like I said, like, you know, like I'm trying to describe a feeling I got and I could be wrong. And like, dude, it could have totally been that. It could have totally been that sense of like, I am supposed to be here, like right now, at this time, in this place, with these people. I belong here, you know. And I've gotten that feeling like a few times in the past few years, which is one of the reasons I think why I've become so like resolute in a lot of things, you know. It gives you this overwhelming sense of confidence to be like, okay, it's not just that, like, you know, okay, cool, like I'm making the right decisions, I'm going in the right direction. Like, it's not just that. It's also a sense of like, oh, thank fuck, I'm finally doing something right. Like, you know, like, because like for years, you know, you just struggle. Well, I did, you know. Let's say a lot of people do. Like, I've struggled so much with like that overwhelming sense of like, I'm not like you people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you look at fucking mainstream society and like where it's going and what it's done and what other people think you should be doing and they tell you to do, and, you know, just get a job, just do this, and like just go along just play along to get along and all this fucking shit. And the whole time I'm just like, this is so wrong, like, you know. And then because you don't necessarily have any confirmation of whether you're right or wrong, you have this like constant internal conflict of like, am I just a freak and an asshole, like, or am I right and they're all wrong? Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's an insane fucking stance to take, you know, logically, when you're like, hold on, so all of them are wrong and I'm right, you know. But that's why it's such a fucking like unbelievable sense of like the sense of calm that came over me when I was surrounded by the bears the first time we met up, and I was looking in all their eyes and I was like, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Like, you know, like, I'm not on my own. Like, I said something that they all like pretty much agreed with, especially the minister, Bravey Bear. I was like, you can see it in our eyes. Like, I think that's like an art. I don't know if it's just an artist thing. Maybe it's like some kind of intuition or something. But like, I can see that shit. and I have to trust it more, because I've seen it in people, and I've ignored it because I like them. I like certain aspects of them, and I'm like, I'm sure he's okay, and I give them the benefit of the doubt, and then months or years later, something ends up happening, and I'm like, oh god, I hate being right. You know, like, I fucking hate being right. I just remembered that I haven't read out that super chat. I will read it out now. My sincerest apologies. How dishonorable of me. So, this is hilarious. Defenderus past life. Hello. Yes. You were elite rebel samurai Nippon in ancient Japan. You fought in many great Nippon wars. Your body count was really high. Okay, bye now. Your body count was really high. Phrasing. Oh, domo arigato for your super chato. Me from a previous life. Oh. Man, that'd be so funny if I actually, like, found out that, those stories about those, like, the blue-eyed samurais. Like, if that's one of my previous lives. It's like, I was like I was a Celt. I was a Celt or a Saxon or something that ended up going over to Japan. And ended up, like, being like, now this is my vibe. Pate, pate. Pate, pate. Pate, pate. Pate, pate. Pate floor. Oh, get poop. Pate, pate. Pate, pate. Paintingu goo-goo. Paintingu goo-goo. That has to cut like this a bit. I know I don't really need to worry about getting it that accurate, but like, why the fuck not, you know? So that cuts more like that. And then this comes down like this. Yeah, okay. If you're gonna use perspective, you need to get that bitch right. How are we looking? It is a beginning to take shape. Painting goo 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 goo. Those windows need to be more square. Did it work, or was he a crackpot? Yeah, it definitely felt like it worked a bit alright, yeah. Like I said, it was like all of a sudden you cleaned a window and you could just see through it. Like that sense of clarity, and like I felt lighter. My aunt Fu Sifu said I had too much chi. You have too much chi. Must empty cup. Your cup full. Then he threw me over the table with a high kick. I'm sorry I took so long to read the super chat. Got lost in a tangent there. If anyone is interested in Water Bear Bear, just posted his water structuring process to his YouTube channel. Give it a like. He's a good friend of mine and a legend. Yeah, he sounds like a fucking legend. That letter was awesome. Structuring water is cool as fuck. It's funny you say that, right? I watched this video of like some kind of like Nordic Viking bitch. She's like a witch. It was only like it's about 5 minutes long. It's a real short one. And it was about like, you know, a lot of these like energetically aware spiritual people I see on YouTube now, they're all talking about like how 2024 is a very important year in the cycle, and it's preparing us all for what's gonna happen in the next 5 years leading up to 2030. And apparently, you know, like she was talking about trying to be like water, like be like water, my friend. She's like, you know, don't crash against the rocks, you know, flow around them and like all this stuff and all. And she's talking about some esoteric shit, but she turned around and said something where I was like, I'm gonna try that. Like, she was like, do me a favor, the next time you go to drink a glass of water, put I can't remember the name for it, but it was like a Viking rune, and it's okay, you guys are seeing it from this perspective, so it's like I'll just do it. It's big enough that you can see it, but small enough and transparent enough that I'll be able to cover it. She said, put this. You see that? This rune. It's like I'm so bad at that fucking like backwards mirror shit. It's like, you know, it's just a vertical line with a slight angle line coming off the top of it that's like half the length. And she was like, lick your finger or get a marker. I thought it'd be more natural to, like, you know, fucking use your saliva, because she said you can use your saliva or get a marker or something. But she said put this symbol on your glass before you drink from it. And put this symbol on your glass, and before you drink from it, recite the words, "I am the stream." And like, when I heard her say that, I was like, whoa, that's some heavy gravy. Like, and I did it earlier on, and I'm not even playing. I think, like, man, I think the placebo shit is like the most powerful medicine in the world, because of how powerful our minds are. So if you genuinely think something's gonna work, it works. You know, like, for the most part anyway. Like, and like, that's why I think that like human beings have just forgotten how to fly and throw fireballs and fucking, like, you know, move shit with our minds and all this shit. Like I really recommend watching the show Altered Carbon. It's full of nudity and sex and violence and stuff, but there's some heavy gravy in it. Heavy Gnostic gravy. Because these the main character is the last of these people called the Envoys, he was a group of people that were taught, like, to rebel against the system and all, like, and they talk about constructs and stuff like that. Like, this realm is in a sense a construct, a simulation of the mind, you know, on a certain level. And if you know how to think and why to think in a certain way, I believe that we can do mad shit that, like, you know, other people would think you're like, sometimes, like, every so often I try and move shit without touching it, and I swear to God, sometimes I've made stuff wiggle. I'm not even playing. Like, it could just be my, like, imagination. Maybe I'm going insane or something. I don't think so, though. You know, I think it's not about, like, you know, you hear all this stuff, it's like, oh, just focus your mind, or that movie fucking what was it, like Paranormal or some shit with fucking Phenomenon. Was it Phenomenon or Phenomena with John Travolta, where he gets a brain tumor and it fucking grants him telekinesis and telepathy. And like the way it's like done in the movies, he looks up and he gets hit by a beam of light, hit by a ball of light. And then you look at movies like The Matrix, where Morpheus is like, you know, free your mind, and then just like jumps off the building and shit. Like, it's doubt. Fear is the mind killer. Cause think about it, like one of the things that always pops into my head when I try, like if I'm gonna try and move that pen, right? There's a blue fucking pen in here. I know it's orange, but it's like blue ink. If I ask that or tell it to move, or if I try and feel it and go to move it, it doesn't move. But part of me actually feels like it's like nearly getting there. But then the doubt and the fear comes in, because part of your mind is like, well, what if I move it too fast? What if I think in the moment that it's gonna like shoot into my eye? And you like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you start thinking all of this mad shit, like, you know, where it's like, well, what if it explodes? What if I hurt myself? What if I like accidentally hurt somebody else? Like, it's like, if you could actually move it, you'd want to just move it a little bit, just like wiggle it, just so you can prove the concept, and then over time be like, okay, I'm gonna move it like 10 feet. Okay, I'm gonna move it this fast. Okay, I'm gonna put it through the wall, you know, and like, I'm starting to think that there's people that can do that shit. Well, I'm not starting to. I've always believed that there's people that can actually do that shit, and then most people think I'm crazy, but I think it's fear. I think fear and doubt are what constrain your mind. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing when it comes to stuff like that, you know? And maybe we have been, like, locked in some way. I mean, they say our fucking DNA has, like, you know, a fucking fuse in it. What if we were, like, you know, fucking gods or some shit, and we were, like, absolutely wrecking the place selfishly and, you know, doing all sorts of horrible stuff, like, and we needed to be stopped, you know? What if it's a good thing that we can't do that stuff anymore? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I got to go. I have loads of shit to do. And I am fucking knackered, to be quite honest with you. So we'll pick this up on Monday, and then we're going to have a whole week of Damarishu's epic warrior princess painting. Riving water, much honor. Yeah. Is there a way to become an honorary Japanite? Like, I've been thinking about that, man. I think I want to fucking I said ages ago that I've had this idea for a long time that I'd love to get I don't know who I'd get them off of, or I'd have to make them myself. I want to get bandanas, and I want them to be black and green like my logo in the top right corner. And I want to call them Defandanas instead of, like, you know, Defenderoos, Defandanas. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Even if I have to custom make them, like, I could get a T-shirt and, like, fucking cut it into strips, and use this bandana as, like, a template, and I could totally, like, paint it like freehand, and people like you, like, support the living fuck out of me. I'll send you a Def Bandana, you know. I think that would be pretty cool. I know for a fact that a few of you would, like, really like that. You know. And it would also, like, I don't, like, it's a bit Jewy, you know, but like I don't have hustle. I just don't. If anything, like, I abhor hustle. But if I'm gonna be, like, you know, responsible and try to be financially successful to a point where Wishy doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to, then I need a little bit of hustle, you know, especially in today's world. Or at least I think I do. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't. Maybe I should just keep doing things the way I'm doing and, like, fucking just be patient. I'm not sure yet. But I think doing something like that where it'd be like, you know, supporting PEINTEINGU to a certain degree, and then, like, use 2acre as a fucking metric. Because, like, dude, like, he, like, 2acre has literally spent, like, hundreds on me. You know, he's bought PEINTEINGUs off me. He's bought me markers, like, you know, fucking, like, professional artist markers. It took you a goddamn year to do it, but he did it. And like he supports the fuck out of me every day. You guys can see it all the time. He like gives me fiver here, tenner there, fiver here, tenner there, like, you know. And in the recent, like, what, in the past, like, I don't know, 6 months ish or some shit, Demon Hunter Bears has supported the fuck out of me, and now I'm doing a commission for his female, you know. So I do. There's a few things that I want to do to pay you guys back, you know, to show my appreciation. So I think that would be a cool thing to do, is like the Def Bandanas. And I think it'd be something small enough and like actually doable that like you guys wouldn't have to pay me for them, you know, even if it were really cheap. Because that'd be kind of stupid. That's like a dishonorable thing to do. It's like it's supposed to represent that, like, you know, you are now an honorary Japanite, like, you know, or like a full-fledged Japanite, like, and you have to fucking pay for the bandana. No, like, I want to just like send it to you as like a thank you, you know. And I know that you guys would really appreciate if I actually put the time and effort into, like, you know, make them myself. So I've been thinking about that for a while, because of people like you, 2acre. So much appreciation for your patronage to Paintingu. But alas, I must leave it there. I have much to do, commissions and such, turtles to design. I have a lot to do, and I'm sore as fuck. I need my rest. I want riving water. Sounds dreamy. On the job TMI moment. On the job TMI moment. Why do some women insist on putting their blood wherever they see fit? Oh God, you found monthly female juice on a bus, did you? Oh Jesus Christ. Ugh. I mean, like, people like you, man, who like clean up after everyone else. People like you who clean up after everyone else, like, you fucking, like, you guys are like, you know, like what Owen says about fucking garbage men and plumbers and stuff like that. You guys fucking like hold the whole place together. Like, you guys are the reason why shit isn't like an absolute fucking hellscape, you know. So everybody fucking give Demon Hunter some props there for fucking cleaning up after some utterly disrespectful female. Gotta practice your telekinesis in a padded room with goggles. Well, then it's no fun, you know. God bless you and enjoy your weekend. Indeed! Thanks, Defenderu. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. If there was a metric for being a true Japanite, 2acre is the measure. I think, yeah, I think we can all agree here that 2acre has been around the longest in terms of like him and Scouse. Scouse is like hardly in the chat, but in real life, he's been a huge support. He got me the kimono and stuff. That's why I did that painting for him and shit. So in a sense, I've already like tried to repay, you know, I've already tried to repay him and show him the appreciation. But he, like, you know, demanded to pay for the painting and stuff like that. So he has definitely earned a fucking a Def Bandana. So I'll that's something I'll work on over the next few weeks or the coming months. Because like I said, like I'm always saying, I have a shit ton going on right now with the turtles and the fucking trying to design that monkey, like, and because I want to go back to doing that. I want to go back to the start of the streams. I actually have like a proper, I know I do an intro anyway with the song and all, like, but like while you guys are filing in and I can still get everything ready, I really miss having the little piano there with the bear and stuff. And I think having a little piano there with a monkey made out of clay that I made myself, playing away on the piano would be fucking brilliant. Especially when I put the tip jar, like the fucking the tip bowl or the fucking whatever beside him. So yeah, there's going to be lots of good things to come. And remember to order a PEINTEINGU T-shirt if you haven't already, because not only does it support me and Printer Bear, but it supports the greater Bartarian community. Oh yeah, Scouse is a fucking legend. 2acre's a legend. You're all legends. You're all fucking legends. I'm a legend. We've all proved our legendary status at this point. What is important now is to keep it up and to keep going, you know. We're all here now, so we've proved certain things. But what we need to prove now is our sustainability and our ability to persevere. Because, you know, God only knows what's going to come down the pipe in the next few years in terms of all this fucking mainstream Babylonian bullshit. Like, but anyway, I will leave it there, and I will stop rambling, as fucking Upper Echelon Gamer would say. Oh, right. I love you all. Have an excellent weekend. God bless and farewell. I will return Monday. Same timer, same preset, same high octane painting energy. You've never seen paint dry like this before. Pay for painting, or you have no honor. And I will see you soon. God bless and farewell.